Feeling fancy? What's up guys, Dan here, Coalcracker Bushcraft. So tent pegs are one of those things that you do need at camp because you need to secure your shelter to the ground somehow. Now you can carry store-bought plastic or metal tent pegs into camp, but we're bushcrafters, so we generally make tent pegs. Now the most simplistic tent peg is just a simple stick like this. You break a branch, jam it down in the ground with your tie-out point like here, and you're gonna be good to go. But that's not fancy enough for us, right? So then you might up it a little bit more and make one of the Y branch tent pegs. This was at one point a Y branch, cut, sharpened, rounded. Now we have a very nice robust tent peg that's a little bit stronger, but yet not that fancy. So we might want to be more fancy. And then we carve a tent peg. So we get a straight stick, we carve a nice point, a rounded end so it doesn't split out, the notch in it, and we use this. But maybe we want to be more fancy, okay? Just because it's fun, right? It's fun and it's great to sit around the campfire and enjoy ourselves, maybe with a hot beverage or some type of brewski, and carve some stuff. So that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna carve some square tent pegs. All right, so step one is going to be cutting our tent pegs to length. So you're gonna get a stick and you're gonna cut this thing. Now, in my mind, making tent pegs like this is gonna be for a larger type like structure that you're gonna be using these tent pegs time and time again, so they look really nice around camp. So in that case, okay, we're gonna make a bigger tent peg. So I cut some different lengths here. This is gonna be my baton. This is gonna be my first tent peg. This is a little bit over a foot in length, and in diameter it needs to be larger because we are gonna be doing some carving with this peg itself. So think about, again, a bigger wall tent type structure when I make this. So I want more of a robust tent peg, okay? So adjust it to your size, whatever you're gonna be using. Again, 12 to 15 inches for me. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just take this round piece of wood and I'm gonna make it square. Real simple process. Once you get these basics down in bushcraft, they carry over to just everything, to the most advanced skills. So learn the basics and you will be golden. So I'm gonna take this now and I'm gonna make this thing square by batoning my knife through. Now, if you get run out during this process of ever trying to square anything off, especially this far down, don't try to go in and baton the other side. What you're gonna end up with a toothpick. So just bring your knife in and then just carve it the rest of the way. All right, really easy, quick work. So after very short work, we go from a round stick like this to a square stick like this. Now again, depending on the size of wood you get, this could be square or rectangle. Your project, totally up to you. Now, next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna add a point to this. So that's very simple. All we're gonna do is carve a wedge style shape. I prefer this over an actual point. I think it's it holds up a little bit better when you're pushing it down into the ground. So all I'm gonna do is pick one side and I'm gonna begin carving down in this direction. Which you can see I'm starting to create that wedge shape. So how pointy do we get these things to drive down in the ground? So you don't want to get them to a very, very sharp point, because what's going to happen as soon as that thing hits a rock or a root, you're going to bend that point over. So I say leave a little bit of flat area towards the top, just like that. And then that will be good. It's going to be robust. If it does get beat up over the years, you can very easily shave that and reshape that. But this is going to work really nice. I like this wedge style itself. Now we're going to come up to the top and we are going to put a notch in here. So we're going to add a 7 notch. All right, now I personally like to go opposite where my wedge is. So if this is my wedge on this side, I like to put my 7 notch on the opposite side. So wedge side, opposite side, okay? When you do this, you don't want to come too far down because it looks real sloppy and it really serves no purpose to leave all this extra up top, and we don't want to come up too close because we need to do something to that top end. So I like to come down about 1 inch on this. Now, you can baton, or if you want, you can take your saw, which I have my saw right here, so I'm going to use my saw, and you can put your relief cut in. So that is just going to be your cut straight across the face here. About 1/4 inch deep is going to be more than enough. You can assess after the fact if you need to go more with that. And then all that we're going to do is we're going to take our knife and we're going to come up to our cut at an angle. And what you're going to notice there is starting to happen is we're starting to add in that tent peg look to this, okay? So I'm coming in and I'm adding that. So that notch is what we're looking for. I know it's blending in here a little bit with everything. So that's the notch we're looking for. Something like that. That's going to grab real nice on our loop or our rope on our tie out point. Now the next thing that we need to address is this top section. If you just let this square like this, when you take your hammer or your baton and you start to hammer this, what might happen here is the wood might run out, okay, from pressure. So what we're going to do to combat this, or at least try to combat this, at the end of the day it's wood, so anything can happen, but what we want to try to do is we want to try to add a bevel and get rid of these 4 sharp edges up towards the top. We don't have to totally round it off, but if we get some of that removed, okay, that can help us tremendously improve the life of this tent peg. So I'm just going to work my way around, working from the bottom up, knocking that sharp edge off, and then once I get back around, okay, you can see what that looks like. Then I can assess, do I want to go around one more time and get a little bit more of that off? So I'm just going to work my way around here on that, and this is going to give the top of this tent peg a lot more strength than just leaving it square with a flat cut. So I'm going to work my way around there, knocking that off, and you can see what that thing looks like now. And that quick, we made ourselves a really nice tent peg, almost store-bought, but wilderness borrowed. So a really nice thing here that you can make a whole bunch of these, let them dry out, put them in your bag, and you will be good to go. All right, so really basic video today. This is like back to the basics almost, but it's fun stuff. This is what makes bushcraft so much fun, doing little things like this out here. So if you like this, hit like and subscribe down below. You can also check us out at coalcrackerbushcraft.com for all our classes, our gear, and our blog. And until next video, give this one a shot. Stay in the woods.